folks, I'm going to share my story of how I was laid off and how I rebounded. First of all, I want to highlight that layoffs are difficult, and these experiences can impact people in different ways. Here's how I got laid off. In November of 2019, I switched jobs and started working at Airbnb as a product specialist on the payments team. Early in 2020, the COVID pandemic hit and the travel industry was hit hard. In May of that year, the leadership team announced at an all-hands meeting that the company's revenue was significantly impacted, and therefore they needed to downsize, and they were going to lay off about 25% of its workforce, which at the time was about 1,900 employees. After that meeting, I got a calendar invite from a senior manager, and at that point, I started feeling very nervous and worried that I was going to be one of the 1,900 folks getting laid off. Within the first few minutes of the video call, I remember hearing the words, "I have some very difficult news to share. Your role has been eliminated." At that moment, my heart sank. I started to feel intense imposter syndrome, sadness, and shame. I left that meeting feeling really worried about the near future. I asked myself, will I have enough savings to support me through the year? Questioning if and when I would find another job, and also how I would break the news to my family. Since I had switched jobs recently, about 6 months ago, I questioned whether I had made the wrong move and wonder if I would have stayed at my previous job, I wouldn't have gotten laid off. And it took me some time to emotionally recover from this experience. One thing I want to share with you all that made a really big difference for me in navigating this difficult time was a conversation that I had with a role model of mine. He's worked for several years in the tech industry, and he reached out via LinkedIn to chat about what had happened and what I was going to do next. During our call, he mentioned that layoffs were normal and happened to a lot of people. He personally had experienced layoffs before and knew other people who had been laid off multiple times in their careers. He also mentioned that layoffs are part of the natural cycle of ups and downs in one's career, and there should be nothing to be ashamed of. His advice was that I should reframe my view of my layoff and to see it as an opportunity to rethink my career instead of a setback. He said that I could take the time to focus on my personal and professional development. And this conversation really changed the way I approached my layoff. My perspective became one of growth. After that call, I reflected on what I wanted to do next. Should I learn a new skill? Should I start a new side project? Or should I switch roles? I had been thinking about taking the next step in my career, so I decided that it was a good time to try to break into product management. And that became my purpose after my layoff. Now, if you have recently experienced a layoff, I see you and want you to know that you are not alone and reassure you that the negative emotions you may be feeling right now won't last forever. Stay hopeful and know that great opportunities will come your way. If you're recovering from a layoff, I recommend that you reach out to talk with friends or people that you trust about what you are feeling. Being able to share what I was going through with others really helped me feel supported. And to wrap this up, I'd like to remind you all, like my mentor once said, layoffs are normal. They happen more often than we think, and you will recover from them. You may even come out stronger from this experience. Thanks so much for watching and for listening to my story. I encourage you to share your rebound story. If this resonates with you, please send me a note or drop a comment down below. I'll catch you on my next post, and you got this.